Hey hunters, hope everyone's doing all right. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Foxpro Fusion. I've been using the Foxpro Fusion setup for a little over a year now with a lot of great success. What you get out of this package are just endless built-in features and very high quality build. So the Foxpro Fusion comes with their best remote, the TX1000. Here's a little bit closer look of the TX1000. It has very large buttons that you can get real familiar with. They do backlight. I'm going to try to get a closer view in some darker conditions here for you in just a little bit and try to show that for you on this video. But the way the buttons are laid out, you can get familiar with where they're at without even having to look down, so you can keep your eyes out in the field and just kind of touch and feel where these buttons are, and the ones that you use the most, you're going to be able to memorize that and not even have to look down at the remote unless you're scrolling through looking for your next call. So now we'll just take a little closer look at the actual call itself. On this you'll find that it has a nice carry handle here at the top, which is easy to take it in and out of the field with. But what I've done, it has these spots here to where you can utilize a lanyard or just a strap. What I did was I took a strap that I was no longer using from a set of Vortex binoculars, and I just put that through those lanyard holes, and that's very easy just to sling right over your shoulder and carry it in and out of the field. On this you're going to find your volume and your actual on and off switch right here. Another nice thing about the Foxpro Fusion is, say you got to the field and your batteries were dead in the actual remote, the handheld remote itself, or you just simply forgot the remote. The nice thing is you can use this actual unit without that remote being with you. Now, as we all know, it would have to be basically sitting right next to you, or you could start the call and then just simply walk back to your stand or your seat to finish your hunt and let the call run. But to be able to switch between calls without that remote, it's going to have to be right next to you. I'll just go through a quick showing of how that works. You would flip that switch there, turn it on, and this will control your volume right here. And I'll show you here how it works without using the actual handheld remote, and hopefully the dog here behind me doesn't freak out. But what you would do is, once you get these 3 hash marks up, you would just hit your up button. You would kind of have to memorize what calls what, but you can see with each one that it actually changes. So that's very nice. Go ahead and turn that down. But anyway, you would just have to know, this is 1 through however many calls you have stored in your system. You would just scroll to whatever you want, let go of it, and it's going to start. Another nice thing about the Foxpro Fusion is, say you got to the field and your batteries were dead in the actual remote, the handheld remote itself, or you just simply forgot the remote. The nice thing is you can use this actual unit without that remote being with you. Now, as we all know, it would have to be basically sitting right next to you, or you could start the call and then just simply walk back to your stand or your seat to finish your hunt and let the call run. But to be able to switch between calls without that remote, it's going to have to be right next to you. I'll just go through a quick showing of how that works. You would flip that switch there, turn it on, and this will control your volume right here. And I'll show you here how it works without using the actual handheld remote, and hopefully the dog here behind me doesn't freak out. But what you would do is, once you get these 3 hash marks up, you would just hit your up button. You would kind of have to memorize what calls what, but you can see with each one that it actually changes. So that's very nice. Go ahead and turn that down. But anyway, you would just have to know, you know, this is 1 through however many calls you have stored in your system. You would just scroll to whatever you want, let go of it, and it's going to start. Some more nice features on the actual call itself. You'll notice these 4 black covers. Those are actually plug-ins for various things. This down here is for a wall charger, so you can plug that directly in and charge the batteries through this access right here. I actually don't utilize that. I have Eneloop Pro batteries in mine, which are rechargeables. I bought those off of Amazon, and I'm going to post up the link on those below in this video, so you can go directly to that Amazon link and just order them that way. I highly recommend those. They're very great batteries, not only for this call, but just for anything else around the house or any other electronics that you guys might use. Just to give you guys a heads up, the battery life on this and using those Eneloop batteries. A friend of myself, we were in a coyote tournament just a few days ago, and I used the Eneloop batteries along with this Foxpro. It was a 24-hour hunt. We hunted the whole time except for, you know, traveling between different field locations, 24 hours solid, and did not have to replace batteries in this at all. So what I just went through, those sound files right there, that's on the same set of batteries from 24 hours straight use. The next little black flap is the rear external. So you can actually hook up, this has a rear speaker on it, and then your front cone speaker. The front cone speaker is the one that I utilize the most. You're just going to get a lot louder, a lot clearer quality utilizing this front cone speaker. The next flap here is an auxiliary input. That's if you're using some sort of external decoy. The next flap here, the last flap, that is for your front external speaker. So not only do you have your rear speaker, your front speaker, but you can also plug in external speakers that Foxpro makes, or you can use any other speakers that you want that would just simply plug in here to give you more directional output, along with louder capabilities utilizing more speakers. And then one other nice thing, you do actually have a low battery indicator right here, so that's going to come on when your batteries start getting low. Now we'll just take a look at the actual handheld remote itself, the TX1000. I'm going to try to demonstrate here by turning off the lights and showing you just a quick display on this and how these buttons are backlit. So here's the remote. Hit the on button. Hopefully we can get this in focus here. There we go. These are perfect for night hunting. You can change how bright and how dim these are, and there's different settings for your screen as well. So right now this is all white. This is in daytime setting. I'll try to show you here. So you can see just a list of calls there. But that there, I just wanted to show you how the buttons are actually backlit, and then the difference between the nighttime screen and the daytime screen. This here is a look at the daytime screen in white. I'll change it real quick to the nighttime screen. So you can see here I have theme and day selected or highlighted. You would hit here, that puts day in highlight, and then you would just change between Foxpro, night, or back to day. what I do at night usually is either Foxpro or night. They both work just fine. And there's just so many options on this remote. I could spend a whole hour just going through the features on this remote and the call itself, but I just want to give a quick explanation, demonstration of the qualities on this Foxpro and what I use for coyote hunting. So one thing that I would recommend doing is going to Foxpro's website and actually downloading the full instruction manual itself. I'll show you here. That's how thick this thing is. This thing here is a lifesaver. There's just so many options, so many features built into this Foxpro Fusion. You would never be able to figure it out just fumbling through the remote. And you want to make sure and get the use out of the qualities and the features that this thing has to offer. So I recommend taking a look at the website and make sure to download this full pamphlet here. Just a few things to go through. Show you the box. I just want to kind of highlight what some of the features are. So this thing has Fox Bang, which you can program on your TX1000 remote. What that does is, say you are using a male coyote howl or whatever you're using, rabbit in distress, and you call in a double. So you end up shooting one of the coyotes, and of course the other one takes off running. What the Fox Bang does is it hears your gunshot, and it's actually going to immediately go into whatever you program, which I always program coyote pup distress. So that's going to trigger, the pup distress to go off, and if that second one runs away and it hears what it thinks is that first one just in distress and injured and not killed, it's going to come back in and look and try to save it or fight off whatever is attacking it, it thinks. I've actually had that work. It works very well, and it's just nice to have it automatically set up so you don't have to grab a hold of your remote and hit the button. It just automatically switches right to it. Another thing is Fox Fusion. That mixes two sounds together. So you can mix some howls in with rabbit distress, two different types of howls, challenge howl with a female yodel howl, just any two calls you can mix together. Fox Data, that's going to record everything that happens on this. You come home, plug it into your computer, and it's going to keep track of everything. This remote keeps track of humidity, pressure, barometric pressure, temperature, time, date, and then you just plug it in, and it's going to tell you what all the conditions were and what call you were using, what calls you used up to the kill shot. It records everything, and you can just start putting data together, seeing what works best, and increasing your chances in the field. Fox Motion is another feature. So that is going to mix the sound between the front and the rear speaker, so it sounds like something is in motion. It might put out a little bit of sound in the rear and then switch to the front where it sounds like an animal maybe changing directions. Fox Pitch lets you manipulate the tone and the pitch of the actual sound being played. So you can kind of dull down a rabbit distress, or you can make it higher pitched, more of a squeal. Full control. It's not just a black and white, just a straightforward call. You can set it up exactly how you want. I recommend downloading the manual in full. That's going to give you all the ins and outs of this and just increase your chances in the field by utilizing all of the built-in features with the Foxpro Fusion. One other thing that I did want to show real quick is I have the standard back panel off of this. This would just typically be flat, but I purchased the, made by Foxpro also, I purchased the Fox Jack 4, and I'll put a link to both the call and the Fox Jack along with those in-a-loop batteries down below, so you can just pick those up directly from Amazon. But the Fox Jack 4 decoy is nice because you have your decoy and your call all together. Typically in the past I would just carry my call, some prior calls that I used to have before I switched to Foxpro. You would just carry your call and your decoy separately. You'd have to go out, stake it down the ground, whatever type of decoy you're using. The nice thing with this is it's right here. You don't have to worry about getting a stake into frozen ground. I've broken a few stakes before trying to get the decoy set up. Sometimes they end up, you know, burrowing a hole in the ground and it gets real floppy, might even fall over. But this, you can see it's just flat on the bottom and it hangs off of the back where your batteries would go. And this has off switch, on, and then on with a light. So you would switch that on, this would shine up onto your decoy. So I'll show you here, this is what the decoy looks like. This is, you know, a bird decoy. You can get different material too, just hot glue, maybe some fur looking type stuff if you want to change this to a rabbit. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, and this can actually pass for a rabbit as well. Coyote isn't going to be able to really tell that well coming in hard charging. But what you would do, you would just take this, put it right down in there. It's magnetic. That closes down, and then you would just turn your button on there, your switch on. And the nice thing about this is it's if you use the Fox jack, it is fully controlled from your remote. So you get set up in the field, you get set up in the stand, wherever you're at. All you have to do once you get back to your seat, your location, is just hit this auxiliary button right here. Make sure this is turned on. Hit auxiliary, and there you go. So that's nice. If you know, you can use that the whole time that you're using any distress type calls, and then if you don't want to utilize that, whenever you switch over to howls or whatever, you just hit that button again, and as you can see, it stopped. I didn't touch this call itself. And then at night, it has this light on top, so you can actually shine it up to the decoy, making it more visible for coyotes or fox or whatever you're calling in, bobcats for you lucky people that can hunt bobcats. Bobcats still are protected here in Indiana, but I feel like that's going to be changing soon because I'm starting to see more and more. You can see those in my other videos. But you would just switch that on right there, and you can see that light. It's fairly bright, and it's going to light up that decoy. Little nice feature there. So hopefully this review helps some of you guys that are looking to, you know, make a decision on what direction you're going to go with electronic collar. I highly recommend Foxpro. Very good quality, tons of features, a lot of features that, you know, a lot of people probably won't even utilize, but there's just so many features on here that can be used to increase your odds at each stand. If this review was helpful to you guys, which I hope it was, if you don't mind just to subscribe and hit that notification bell and just follow along. Hopefully you guys have better odds by utilizing the Foxpro. And man, and if you guys have any questions at all with the Foxpro Fusion, please don't hesitate to ask me questions below. I try to check those as often as I can, help each other out here. It is self-gratifying for me just to see some of those comments from you guys that have watched past videos. I really like helping other people out, you know, getting new hunters started, or even if it's experienced hunters just looking for a different call, maybe getting into Foxpro or whatever it might be. I'm willing to help anybody out that's willing to listen, and I'm still learning every day, and that's the fun part about it, is there's just endless opportunities, and hopefully this review helps somebody out. And don't hesitate to ask any questions. As always, happy hunting. Can't beat it. Thanks, guys.